Ride the Dente.
I think we should have some fun.
Wow.
Wait a second.
Specifically, Parker.
Where are your shoes at?
I mean,
Hey,
you were
let you wear
riding
shoes.
You were riding the Dente yesterday, the Chili's Activation Center here at the track.
Set a world record, by the way, on this. They told me afterwards I was the longest running. Well, they had the Guinness World Book of World Records there.
It was
verifying.
a world record in Parker Kligerman's mind.
Maybe.
It wasn't a fact.
On the boulevard, you know, sort of facts are blurry.
He had that medium T-shirt on.
Yeah. Well, I told him.
And you lost your shoes and socks.
You weren't allowed to wear shoes.
Oh, is that
they made that clear.
You
Yeah.
just didn't have socks?
No, I took the socks off too.
All right.
Yeah, I went full barefoot.
Well, when I think of the boulevard, I think I'd want socks.
Rubber shoes.
Let's get a report from Dylan.
Well, you guys talked about the flexibility of what kind of tires or what amount of tires, I should say, you want to take during pit stops. This was Jonathan Toney's report on the tires that came off the 00.
Yeah, our tires, I'm pretty sure we could drive these tires to Richmond, Virginia and back and not wear them out. Yeah, that's kind of how it felt there.
So, you can run tires probably about as long as you want to today, guys.
They make you feel good, though, Parker.
That's pretty typical here.
If your car's not handling well, you're like, I need tires.
Yeah. They lose some grip from heat. That does happen, and you'll feel like new ones give you that chance to just be a little bit more aggressive at times. But that's interesting because sometimes the first run can be the worst, and for them to be that good the first time, it's only going to get better.
Tire violation on the pit stop. Taylor Gray dropping to the rear. Unfortunate penalty for him. Let's go back and take a look.
And
Yeah,
you
just got away from him right there. Had
Gosh,
to go out
that
and
was
grab it.
close.
Yeah.
really close. That 10 of Daniel Dye that had to go around it, staring right as he came out of his stall.
This is so difficult because you spend so much time in that first stage, and he qualified great. I mean, yesterday. So you spent so much time up front, and then boom, now you have to reset and change your mindset as you go to the second stage and coming from behind. One guy that has not had to worry about that, race leader Jesse Love. Here's 2 Radio.
Which lane of law, you know what I mean? I think you were doing that, but there was a couple of times I wish you were a little bit more definitive on like which lane's closer, which lane's coming. But then at the end of it, though, when we kind of got down to crunch time, I felt like you were doing that perfectly fine. And, I want that level of intensity, like some kind of the whole run, if possible, to where I got you.
Yeah, so they've been working on this with Jesse Love, and Parker, what they're referencing there is when he makes a move, don't, like we saw Jeb Burton kind of move up and then want to move back down, like be more aggressive with your moves. I would just caution you early in the race. I don't know that it's worth that, but you know, it's working for him right now.
Real quick, Leland Honeyman Jr. way back in the field, 31st. They did come back down pit road. He just went by his stall on that original cycle down the pit lane. Stage 2 begins. Front row, Jesse Love, Nick Sanchez.
And Jesse Love has Christian Eckes right behind him, and we saw what a good pusher he was. They're going to try to shove him. You see they're already connected going through turns 1 and 2. So sketchy when you're the car getting pushed through those first couple of corners.
Can be the 48 and the 7 of Justin Allgaier hooked up on the top side right there, but that 16 was able to break the bubble earlier. I think he might be one of the best pushers as Sanchez. He's going to take the lead here from the top side, and Jesse Love slot in ahead of Justin Allgaier.
Make a mental note, outside lane on the restart. We saw it opening of the race. When Love was able to get the top spot, Sanchez slides out in front here. And now he's trying to manage it, and he gets shoved to the middle.
It was a late move. It was hesitant to go to the bottom. The 16 of Eckes had a big run from the 21 pushing him, and it put Sanchez in the middle. He'd already given up the top of Jesse Love, and he's going to pay the price right here. Does a great job, actually, to slot in front of Carson Kvapil.
Look at Eckes bottom lane leading the lap.
Yeah, you see he moved up, a little, like you said, not quite aggressive enough, but I think that's okay. Listen, he's going to lose some ground here, but if you make that move and it doesn't work and you get wrecked, your day's over. So it's okay at this point. Don't take that chance.
And that's exactly what Jesse Love was referencing with his spotters. You see him controlling the front once again. He wants that intensity that you would have in the last few laps of a stage or the last few laps of the race all the time, because you've got to make moves that are super decisive. If you're going to be aggressive, you've got to commit to those moves, and that means you and the spotter working in sync in your aggression level and quick clearing.
And I said said this earlier in the pre-race show. That spotter is kind of verification. When you're making that move and you hear the spotter say it, you know you can go because it's two people thinking the same way. If your spotter's not quick enough to say that or he doesn't tell you, that's when you're hesitant to make those decisions.
Hell, I feel like when you're in sync and you're in Jesse Love's position, controlling the field, I'm not even looking in the mirror. When the spotter says go to the top, I go, I never look. And that's when you really know you're in sync with each other, and that's how you can make moves that are fast enough to cover lanes as they gain momentum.
Yeah, speaking of making moves, what about Jesse Love? Didn't take long to get back to the front. The other car that I've got my eye on is on the inside right there behind Christian Eckes. Now going to the inside, Austin Hill, both those RCR cars, the speed, it keeps popping up. When they get shuffled back, they're able to get right back to the front. Everyone seems to want to go with them because of the speed that they have.
In his 2 races here last year, Jesse Love led 28 laps. He's led 31 so far today, and he's out front right now, 9 laps down in stage 2. You know, Jeb Burton restarted in the 16th position, and he's leading this race right now. They did take 4 tires. I know we say tires don't mean a lot, but if you were watching when we were side by side. The maneuverability that 27 has been impressive.
And you just saw it right there, a shot to the top. He's been controlling these lanes incredible. Oh, it's Justin Allgaier got a huge hit from Sheldon Creed, got very sideways there, just a couple cars behind him. But Jeb, we talk about those 4 tires. Yeah, maybe they don't wear out, but they just give you confidence sometimes to make more aggressive moves. Remember, these drivers have been able to work on their cars a little bit. We heard some were loose. That helps you as well to be more aggressive here. We got some radio of the 7 of Justin Allgaier.
All good. Can't go straight to save my life. It's all over the place. Okay, do your best. You're doing great here.
So that's Darty, possibly.
And we've heard that,
Yeah.
Ryan. We've heard that Jeremy Clements had the same issue. Seems like, I mean, to me, that's kind of a characteristic of the tire this weekend, right? I mean, they run these cars. You don't tow the front end out to give stability. You want it almost heads up or minimal out to make the car just faster in a straight line. You do everything you can to get that speed. I'm going to tell you something. Jeb Burton with the 4 tires, I know we've talked about it not being a big deal, but if I'm on a crew chief on that pit box, I'm taking note of that, because the fact that he wasn't able to get to the lead, now with 4 tires he has, maybe that's in the back of their mind as we move forward in this race.
Here's what I really like, though, for him. You know, if you do 4 tires into stage 2, you compromise track position for the final stage. He's in a position now where he knows 2 tires are a great call. Jeb Burton leading this race, Carla.
We know Jeb Burton has won here twice, but almost had 3 trophies to his name. He spoke with me about leading on the white flag back in 2020, and he said he should have thrown a block there, but he didn't really have the experience to know what to do. Said it took losing that race then to learn how to win, of course, which led to wins in 2021 and 2023. He said, look, this just comes down to not doing stupid stuff, and he said he used the phrase all throttle and no brains to describe what not to do here, guys.
That's Jamie, actually.
Yeah, that's my nickname for Jamie usually.
You talk about ride the Dente next. That's what you can talk about.
That's what I do to keep this on air.
Listen, I just want to get back to Jeb Burton. You mentioned getting the best track position for that 3rd stage. He started 16th in this stage.
That's a
and
great
has gotten
point.
to the front. So handling might be a bigger issue. I'd love to hear kind of his thoughts, you know, what he thinks. Does his car have more grip than everybody else? You see Sammy Smith get a big, massive run on the outside, but the Chevrolets are kind of staying committed to each other on that top side.
And they are, and this is perfect for Jeb because you can play all 3 lanes, and if you do that correctly, it's going to keep you out front as you just keep covering the ones that have momentum. It's great experience. He's making some really decisive moves back to the top here. He's controlling it really well, and he's got a car that gives him the confidence to do that right now.
He is, but watch that middle lane right there. You see Austin
Here's
Hill
a
getting
push.
a big shove from Jesse Love, Eric Almirola, and the green and blue 19 behind them. They've stayed committed to that middle lane. You see Austin Hill now going to work up and try to block Sammy Smith. Jesse Love fills the gap. Wants
said,
to
"You
get
go
back
up there."
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much. Here comes the 2 again, Jesse Love.
In some respects, Austin Hill just sort of left his teammate doing that in one way, you know, to go to the top there. But that's something that's characteristic of those RCR cars. We see them work together very well. But Austin Hill will tell you, if I see a moment to take an opportunity, I'm going to do it. And if it's at your detriment, just find a way to get back with me.
8 laps to go. Stage 2 at Talladega. Jeb Burton leading. Big finish coming.